Hello and welcome back to Get Great at Maths. I'm here to help you pass your maths exam, so hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to look at keywords, key formulas and how to gain top marks. So let's get ready to get great at maths. This is a question on adding fractions, and we've got to add 1/2 plus 1/3, and we're going to write the answer in the box here for 1 mark. Now most students will know how to do this really quickly and accurately, and then other people make this common mistake of literally just adding the top 2 numbers together and adding the bottom 2 numbers together, and they get the answer wrong. So to be able to get the answer correct, we need to follow the following steps. So we're going to find the common denominator. So we need to find the lowest number that is in the 2 and the 3 times table. So what is the lowest common multiple of the number 2 and 3? Often it is just these 2 numbers multiplied together will help you find that common denominator. Then you're going to use equivalent fractions to put both of these fractions over the common denominator. Then once they're over a common denominator, you can now add the numerator, which are the numbers at the top. Then the denominator will stay exactly the same. You're then going to convert it to a mixed fraction if it will go into a mixed fraction, and cancel your answer if it cancels. Sometimes you don't need to do these last 2 steps. It depends what happens when you work out the answer. Press pause, have a go at following these steps, and then press play when you're ready to hear the answer. Well done guys, so hopefully you've managed to get an answer. So to start with, we've got to look for a common denominator. So that means what number is in the 2 times table and in the 3 times table. So the easiest way to find this is actually doing 2 times 3. So 6 is my lowest common denominator, or my lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. So the denominator is going to be 6. Then I've got to work out what fraction is a half equivalent to. So a half out when I've got 6 sections. So if I've got a diagram drawn here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections, and I want to colour in a half of it. You should be able to see if I draw a line down the middle, 1, 2, 3 sections here would be coloured in. So half of 6 is 3. So a half is equivalent to 3 over 6. Then I need to find the equivalent fraction for 1/3. So that is splitting this 6 into 3 sections. So I'm going to split it here and I'm going to split it here. So I've got 2 in the first section, 2 in the second section, and 2 in the third section. So 1/3 is going to be 2 squared. So 1/2 is equivalent to 3 over 6, and 1/3 is equivalent to 2 over 6. Now, as I said, you can use the diagram to see what is going on. You can think about it logically. What is a half of 6, which is 3? What is 1/3 of 6 is 2. Or you can multiply the denominators. So 2 times 3 gives me the number at the bottom. So I've got 6 in the bottom of both these fractions. And then if I take the top left times by the bottom right, 1 times 3 gives me the 3 for the top left. And then if I do the bottom left times the top right, 1 times 2 gives me 2. That gives me the top right. Now this method will always work, but if you use this method, often you will need to cancel down your answer at the end, but it depends on the numbers that have been given. So it's personal preference whether you like to think about the diagram, think about what is going on with each of the fractions separately, or you want to just use the method where you multiply the bottom numbers. Top left times bottom right goes to the top left. Bottom left times top right goes to the top right. It's personal preference as to how you like to remember how to add together 2 fractions with different denominators. From here, we're now going to add the numerator. So we're at step 3. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Step 4 says keep the denominators the same. So the 6 is going to stay the same. So diagrammatically, that is 3 out of 6. So 3 of them are green. So this is equivalent to the half of the diagram. And 1/3 of this diagram is equivalent to 2 sections. You can see my 3 plus my 2 sections gives me 5 out of 6. So your final answer is 5 over 6, and that's what you need to write in the box. Now, step 5 says convert to a mixed fraction. The number at the top is smaller than the number in the denominator. So because the number in the top or the numerator is smaller than the number in the denominator, we can't convert it to a mixed fraction because we haven't even gone over the whole number. You can see here I've only got 5 out of the 6 sections shaded, so it doesn't go over a whole number, so we don't need to do step 5. There is no number that goes into 5 and 6, so we can't cancel this fraction, so our final answer is literally 5 over 6. We do not need to do step 5 or 6 in this case here. Depends on what numbers you've been given, you may need to do those steps. Well done if you got the answer correct. Give yourself a big tick. Fantastic work. Well done. The mark scheme on this question shows the answer is 5 over 6 for 1m. 1m means one method mark. Now it does say you're allowed equivalent fractions or exact decimal equivalent. So the exact equivalent to 5 over 6 is 0.83 recurring, which means 0.833333, and the 3 keeps going on. Now most students will find it much easier to write 5 over 6 than this decimal equivalent. Now do not accept rounded or truncated decimals. So rounding means if you wrote this as 0.83, looked at the next 3, round it to make it still stays the same, so it's 0.83. In this case here, truncating does exactly the same as the rounding, so just take off the remainder of the 3's, so your answer is 0.83 again. So it didn't matter whether you rounded or truncated in this question, but it says do not accept that answer. So it's much easier to leave your answer as a fraction than using decimal equivalents, and it will take you significantly longer to do the decimal equivalents than using the fractions. If you found this video useful, please share, like and subscribe so we can all get great at maths. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Please follow Get Great at Maths on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and X. What do you want to see next on Get Great at Maths? Please comment below. See you next time.